Good morning, everyone. It's Deanna Matrin.
And Andrew O'Connell.
And we're back. So video number 2. Our last video got cut off, and there's just a couple of extra things that we wanted to point out to you before we move on to next steps. First, this is the form we left off at. This is Gary Flagg's second period class. When we left you, there was only 4 names and 4 academic approach ID numbers. Since then, what we did was we loaded the rest of his students. I'm going to tell you that there was 12 names in academic approach. However, because they were not classified, we have 15 students in this class. So as you can see, there's 12 names. These first 12 names are the kids with academic approach. We added these last 3 so that these students can still take the assessment. Gary can still get the data. But if you look at ID, it ends with question or with ID number 12, right? So if a student is not classified and they are not entered in academic approach, that does not mean they can't take the assessment. All they're going to do is click on their name, and then when they get to ID number, they're going to leave it blank. In addition to that, what you should probably do is when you go to the title, I'm going to label this period 2, so I know that this is for his second period. I'm also going to put that up here in our label as period 2, and this is done. Okay. The next step you're going to want to do is we've done a lot of the front loading. We've added the names, we've added the academic approach IDs, we've made this a quiz. Okay. But we shouldn't have to do this every single time. So step 2 is we're going to go over here to these little dots, more, and we're going to make a copy of this form. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to maybe put the date, right? So if this is for today, I'm going to put 11/20 so my students know, right? And then this is probably going to be a new test. So let's just say this is test number 1. Last one was test number 3, or I could say this is test number 10, right? So, okay, I've relabeled it. Now, everything is the same from the last sheet to this sheet, right? The last form to this form, but I am going to want to make some modifications. So I have changed the label, so I know this is a new form, but I'm going to want to change the title here because this is, let's say, assessment 10, right? And let's just say that these answers, first and foremost, are the answers from the last assessment, right? So I'm going to want to go in and I'm going to want to click on this. And I'm going to want to click on answer key. And from the last test, the answer was B, but let's say the answer now is A. I'm going to click A, unclick on B. Go to question 2. We're going to click on the answer key because we want to make sure that this is done for us. We want to unclick B, and let's just say the answer is C, right? Go to 3, answer key. Unclick B, let's say the answer is D, right? So we want to just make sure that this new test reflects the new answers. And let's just say that this new test only has 4 questions on it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this and I'm going to delete this, right? And now I have a new form which is going to give me new data. So once I have this modified, all right, once I've created the form, so you see I have my form for test number 3. I have my form for test number 10, right? This is worth 4 points. This is worth 6 points. To actually assign this, we're going to my Google Classroom. I'm going to create an assessment or assignment. And on here, I'm going to say this is academic approach underscore. Let's just say this is test number 3, right? How do I find this test? Well, I've been playing with this, so I'm going to go to my recent. And if I go on here, I look and I see here's assessment number 3. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to press add. And then all of the students need to do is once I assign this, they're going to click on this link. So I'm going to press assign. And now the assignment has been, you don't have permission to attach this file. Well, that's because it actually belongs to Andrew. But once you have your own form, it's going to belong to you. So you will attach it as long as the form belongs to you, and you're going to assign. Once the students take the test, though, so now what am I doing with these forms? I'm going to now go into assignment that's already been done by Miss Carrie Shank. Carrie had her second period do this. As you can see, there are 19 responses. She has her students uploaded. She has the academic approaches ID'd in there. There are answers for each piece, right? We know that there's answers in there. We know it's worth a total of 6 points. Responses. This is where it gets interesting. Once the kids have done the quiz, the first thing that's important to me is frequently missed questions. Well, I'm going to need to go over question number 1 because out of the 19 students that took this test, only 3 got them right. If I click down on these responses, this is after the students have done this. So look at, I have questions. This is the quiz, right? Here's my responses. This is after the students have submitted that form. I see a distribution, total points, right? I see all of their names. I see some great little charts, item analysis. It shows me only 3 kids got number 1 right. 18 kids out of 19 got number 2 right. So they've pretty much mastered that. 16 out of 19 got number 3 right. So this is giving me all that easy data. The next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to click this sheets. And Andrew's going to tell you what we can see here.
So over here, when it opens up in a Google Sheet, it'll show you each student, their score, and their academic approach ID, and what they did, what they selected for each of their answers. So the next video, when we show you how to upload, we're going to deal with a lot of the data over here. Down here shows you exactly how they did, how many they got right. So what's nice about this data is that a lot of the departments can use this as their CFATs that they turn in bi-weekly.
Yeah. And again, you don't have to use this as your CFAT, but absolutely you could. You have your students listed here. You have their score. So as long as this is dealing with a skill that you are dealing with in your course, and it does, we know for a fact that this is textual evidence. This is LPRE. These are the power standards. This is diction. We know that this deals with Carrie Shank's course, her standards. This can easily be her CFAT. I don't have to do any uploading. I don't have to do any grading. It's been graded for me. I know it's very specific, skills-based, and it's going to help our students on the SAT. So this is video number 2. Thank you so much. And we've got one more video to show you how to upload all of this into Academic Approach. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.